Hi, I'm Sam Sells, and welcome to my podcast, Clean Money. I like to say investing matters, and my show is to talk with everyday folks that are not only creating great success, but making an impact in society and improving the lives of others. That is my mission, and I want to share my stories and others with you. Welcome to Clean Money. Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining another great episode of Clean Money, where we talk about how to make a difference in the world through our investments of time and resources. My guest today is none other than the Noelle Frieson. Thank you so much for joining the pod today.
Thank you for having me. We're so happy to be here. I love you, Sam. I love the concept of clean money and what you can do with it. And as the partner in the Center for Real Estate Education, where we're creating real estate agents and creating real estate investors, I think that real estate is one of the best ways to have clean money.
I 100% agree, because you know where your dollars are going, right? And you're creating.
You can feel it. You can hug it if you want to. Yeah. You can hug that real estate.
Yeah. As humans, we're tactile creatures, right? You like clothes because not only the way they look, but the way they feel. If you see something cool, you want to touch it, right? You just like, I want to touch that thing, right? It's just.
There is a bag I've been looking at on the internet forever, and I won't buy it because I can't feel the way it feels in my hands.
Yeah.
I have to go find it in a store. Same thing with your investments.
It's the same thing with your investments. So clean money is all about knowing where our money goes, how it is being used, and making sure that aligns with who we are as a person. Now, I'm going to brag on you a little bit because other folks don't know who you are. I know who you are. I've been a big fan for a while. I love the real estate, the RE Career Center, which is Real Estate Career Center.
We're the Center for Real Estate Education. Center for Real Estate Education, recareercenter.com. You're correct on that.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the clarification. So you guys have produced so much content. You've had over 15,000 students trained. You have an email list of like 2 million people. It's insane. Just incredible. So particularly about you, you've done over 2 years, 2 decades, 2 years, 2 decades of marketing, public relations, project management, all in real estate. You spent many years helping downtown shopping corridors thrive as a director of marketing for the urban centers of downtown Newark, downtown Hackensack, and the Lower East Side of New York City. So I know your passions, like mine, are like, how can I make this the best for the humans that are coming and going here? Not just the wealthy humans, but for everybody, regardless of where they came from. Where their status is in life. And because of all this, you won a placemaking award from the International Downtown Association and an exceptional Main Street Marketing Award by Mayor Bloomberg from New York City.
Now, that was all a former life.
Yeah.
And I have a sweet story to say about that. So when I was working with Hackensack, the city of Hackensack, I met my partner, Eric Anderson, who is like Mr. Real Estate in New Jersey. He has actually been one of the most influential people in turning Hackensack back into a major shopping district and building it up and regentrifying it, and many other areas throughout New Jersey. And we started working together on real estate and PR. And this was many, many, many moons ago. So I was helping him with real estate and PR. And over the years, we just saw how much we aligned. And you do a lot of syndication. So getting in with partners, right?
Yeah.
Having that good partner and seeing that you really work together well works out. And he came to me about 7 years ago, and said, I want to help others through real estate. When he started in real estate, he had no one to help him along. There was no one to tell him, do this, don't do that. He was like, let's start a school where we're not just focusing on people passing a test, but we're focusing on helping mentor them for their whole career. And that is how, so from me just being the marketing girl, that is how we started the Center for Real Estate Education. And it has been the best journey of my life.
That's fantastic. I was there myself. I mean, YouTube books, like I'd read Joe Fairless's book or one of the other syndicated books. I had no idea how to raise money. I knew I wanted to get in commercial real estate, single family homes was just not for me. I'd done that for a long time, and I could just not ever get it in the size and scope that I needed to. And so I learned from folks who never knew that I was learning from them, because I was studying, and like Peter Harris and these others, just trying to understand what they're doing and how they would do it. And then I would take what they would say on these podcasts or videos, and I go out and try and do it, which is good. But at the end of the day, it's like, sometimes you need a coach, you need a mentor, you need somebody you can call and be like, hey, should I do this? And I remember when I got a mentor and called him and said, hey, I'm trying to do this development deal. He's like, that's a terrible deal. Don't do it. It's like, well, I already bought it.
You're like, I already jumped in, fully closed.
It's like, Sam, I don't know what you're going to do, man. And it turned out to be a terrible deal. Fortunately, there was no investors. It was just me. And so things worked out. But, education is so incredibly important. As you know, Instagram, everything else is full of, hey, do these stills and no money down, and you can be rich in 10 days or less.
And we wanted to take that kind of mystery out of it for people, where they're saying, well, should I listen to this Instagram post or this TikToker or this YouTuber? Because obviously we're licensed. We're licensed by the Department of Banking and Insurance in the state of New Jersey. We're licensed by the Department of State in the state of New York. We're licensed by the Department of Real Estate in the state of Florida, and many, many more to come. So there are standards that we must hold to. Now, with that being said, we knew that people need more than just getting their license, and people have things that they want to do beyond being a real estate agent. And being a real estate agent, don't get me wrong, that is awesome. That's a great way of owning your own future, of being able to say, I have this goal, financial goal, life goal that I want to make in this year, and then figuring out how to get there, right? That's wonderful. But then when you master that, or if you find out that that's not just for you, but you still have that real estate bug, let's get into investments. Let's get into things like commercial investments and property managing those commercial properties. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's so many ways to get in. And what we do is we get you licensed. We have those classes, the 75, 63, 77 hours that you're going to need to take for your state to have that piece of paper, right? To have that credential. Yeah. But then we say, okay, take our find, fund, flip, take our BRRRR, buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat, right?
Yeah.
And learn how to really take control of your financial freedom through real estate, right? Learn how to find ways of financing those projects. Learn how to find the right partners for those projects.
So important.
Who should be your team? What do you need? Do you need a lawyer? Do you need contractors? Should you use the same contractor all the time? We have a network of experts, and I'm so happy to say that you are one of our network of experts, and we're bringing on a class by you, which I'm so excited about, on syndication. I was just looking over some of the materials, and I was like, this is going to be awesome. This is exactly what our students want to know and want to learn. So our network of experts, they not only are there to give you a class, and a lot of our classes are live online, some of them are self-paced so you can watch the video, but they're always open for you picking up that phone and saying, hey, I took your class and I'd like to, know more about this, or I have people all the time calling me and saying, hi, how can we mentor with Omar? How can we mentor with Eric? How can we mentor with Jeff? Whomever it may be that they've watched their classes. And those people take it very seriously. So it's a way of not only learning, but actually having that guidance that you need.
I love it. I'm so much of a supporter. I know that's terrible English. Oklahoma public school education, guys. I'm sorry. I have a master's degree, but sometimes that stuff still comes out. Yeah, I love the center. I love all the courses I've been through, looking at all those things. I'm like, my goodness, I wish I would have had access to this. I need to create something like this or work with somebody to create something like this for commercial real estate, because there's not the licensing structure like it is in residential, right? You can't just go apply to become a commercial real estate agent. There's not.
You have to learn it.
You have to learn it. You can become a licensed broker, but that's pretty much it. And outside of that, nobody in commercial real estate has a license. You could be buying the Empire State Building with a syndication and you've got zero license and you're just trying to convince people that you know what you're doing.
Now, that's not to say you can't be a licensed real estate agent who specializes in commercial, but that's all under one license. You're not going to have to get a commercial license in most states.
Right.
But you're right. You could start buying and selling and working with a real estate agent without having your own license. You can start doing that. And the problem with that, or the problem that a lot of people run into, is they're like, well, how do I know that I'm doing this right? How do I know that I'm making those right decisions? And don't get me wrong, I will YouTube anything at the drop of a hat. I will YouTube it. I will follow the steps,
Yeah.
But it gives me enough knowledge just to make me dangerous, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you actually dive in, and we talk about this a lot, about diving into what your passion is, and you want to do the education, you want to learn, but you still have to dive in and get your feet wet, right?
Right.
We hope that our school gives you the opportunity to do both at once. So if someone is interested in commercial syndication, we hope that they are watching the Sam Sells video, right? They are taking that course. And at the same time, they're diving in with the actionable steps that you've given them, which is one of the best things that we impress upon with all of our experts. And when they're doing their courses and giving knowledge, please give actionable steps. No one wants to listen to a half an hour of you talking about how you bought a jet and how you're driving a Maserati and how you can do it too. And you're like, okay, get to how I'm going to do it.
Yeah, that's it. And when I was creating the courses for this, I had to step back and say, okay, I just created a bunch of courses that are for people who are already in commercial real estate. I need to back up. And so it's taken me months because I had to back up and go back and say, okay, day one, what is commercial real estate? What is it like? And the thing in commercial real estate is there's, just like in residential real estate, there's so many different directions you can go. And each direction leads down a different type of life. Okay. So if you are, let's say, if you are an owner operator of apartment buildings and you self-manage, your life is busier than all get out. Like, I mean, because you got 500 residents that are breaking their toilets and setting their kitchens on fire and, doing all these things.
Right.
Yeah. They're all humans. They're all just being human. Right. And
I don't like my neighbor. He smokes too much. I can smell the smoke. I get it.
Yeah, you get it. Right. And so you definitely want to have a property management company or own your own property management company. But then, if you got investors and your life can be totally consumed, but you can build $1 billion empire or $2 billion empire. If that's what you want to do, then you can go down that path, but just understand these are the sacrifices and this is the path. If you want your life to live on the beach, there's great ways to do that in commercial real estate, but it's a different path. And so when I started, I had no idea that there were different paths. Nobody ever told me that. And if you go out and look at coaches like, oh, I'm a multifamily syndicator and I'll teach you how to do it. I'm like, I don't know that that's what I want to do or not.
Sometimes you need that one-on-one conversation with a person. And I think, being able to reach out to teachers or our experts or your mentor is a great way just to start talking to someone. Reading books, you don't always get the nitty-gritty. You don't always get the down and dirty. A lot of people get into real estate because they think it's going to be quick, easy money. I can tell you from my years in real estate, none of it has easy. It has all taken a lot of brain work. And I'm a girly girl. I'm like, I don't want to lift that because I'm a girl. Now I know that you just have to pick up the boxes, pick up the bricks, do whatever you need to do to get the job done.
That's it. That's it. And particularly in a down market, you've got to work even harder. You've got to outsell everybody else around you.
Yes.
Or outperform, right? I love real estate for so many different reasons. It's a physical asset, like we talked about. It's something you can scratch, sniff, smell. You can create. You can make a big difference. You change people's lives because when you provide nice, clean, safe housing that's affordable, whatever affordability means in that area, that makes a huge difference. So I know you've impacted thousands, tens of thousands of lives, and really millions of lives. What do you think of all the things that you've done? What do you think has had the biggest impact to you?
So when I used to work with downtown marketing, downtown corridors like downtown Newark or the Lower East Side of New York City. And I used to think that was amazing because I was shaping the way people live their lives, right, in these areas. I was shaping the way foot traffic moved. I was looking at, who feels safe walking down these streets? What kind of stores are here? What kind of life are we providing? Quality of life are we providing to residents and visitors? But really, forming the next generation of real estate professionals has been that plus more, because in everything we're doing, we're teaching them to go out and do the same thing to the areas in which they're buying and to the areas in which they're working. So it's, instead of me being a one-man army or one-woman army going out and saying, I can change this neighborhood, we've just created 15,000 people who are going to go out and change neighborhoods for the better. If you are rehabbing a property, if you are adding value to a property, if you're bringing in certain retailers into an area, are literally changing the way the people live their lives in that area. You're adding to their everyday quality of life. And so really being able to say that all of these people that have gone through the Center for Real Estate Education are now out there with the same kind of passion and changing the world brick by brick is amazing.
That is amazing. It's that philosophy is one of the reasons I've really started gearing towards education and pushing, because I've been there, I've done that. I've been through some really difficult challenges in real estate and had some great successes as well, and have realized that if I'm to expand, I really need to help others, and that's where
Something people don't realize too about real estate is that it changes your family forever. So, if you're investing properly, you're creating generational wealth. You're creating generational wealth for generations to come. We're talking about how you can touch it, feel it. Well, you can say when you've rehab the property and you're holding on to it, then your child can then take that over. Their children can then take that over, and they can feel it, they can touch it, they can see what you built literally for them. So the generational wealth aspect of it, and you were talking about, being on the beach, being one of those commercial real estate agents who live their life on the beach. Takes a while to get there, takes a little finessing, but you do have the opportunity to shape your workday and your life around your family or around your personal life. I know that getting into real estate for me, when I started this with Eric, I had just gotten divorced and became a single mom with a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
And I was like, how am I going to do everything? Right. But then I realized in this business, if I had to run out to a PTA meeting or whatever I was doing at the time, some bake sale, I could take those couple of hours and no one was telling me, no, you had to be chained to a desk.
Right.
I might have to work while he's sleeping all night.
Yeah.
But those are the choices. Life is all about choices, right? And those are the choices that I made, and they worked out so well.
Yeah, it's wonderful to take a look back, how you got there, why you got there, and to think, this going into real estate became the catalyst for an expansive life change, your life, your kid's life, that 6-year-old now, I don't know if he's even thinking
going on
about
12. Yeah, he's going on 12.
yeah. I mean, he's not thinking about real estate yet, or maybe he is.
Oh, he is.
Is he? Awesome.
He has listened to so many classes. He's listened to me on so many classes that 2 years ago, he gave a small presentation to his school on how to be a real estate agent.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That is so fantastic. This is amazing. I got asked a couple of weeks ago to start presenting to military folks who are coming, separating from the military, retiring or something, and just kind of give them a little blurb about commercial real estate. Because I got started before I got out. And one of the big reasons was because the military was like, hey, you can't stay in anymore. You got migraines and sleep issues. And I was like, no, but I want to stay in. I want to finish my career. I want to, I'm doing all these awesome, fun things. And it just became like a big, impending disaster I could see in my mind. It's like, I've got to, I'm never going to allow somebody to tell me I can or can't work anymore. Right. That's going to be a personal decision. In two, it's like, it almost seems arbitrary. I'm the number one of 500, whatever, officers and blah, 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 blah. But yet I'm going to get out because I have migraines, and sleep issues because I'm traveling across the world every other month.
Which that would be the cause, but go ahead.
Right. Yeah. And I'm like, you think that's probably it, guys? Plus, so anyhow, it's, when you take control, that is liberating in and of itself. And then when you replace your income through your investments, it becomes like what I call the point of freedom, a point of choice. And now you can decide, do I keep working? How do I live? And right now, if I need to take my kids somewhere, I just go.
Do it. I love that. The point of choice. Because really, I feel as though, and I've spoken to literally thousands of people getting into real estate, it all boils down as to they want that ability to have choice. And I mean, we've had students as young as 18, which is the going age to be able, actually 17, because you can take the class and then take your test when you become 18. Up to 86. And, the 86-year-old just wanted to learn real estate and thought maybe he might be selling his house soon because he might decide to downsize at 86,
Awesome.
So it's all about the personal choices that you want to make. And I tell a lot of people, especially when they're in my situation where they have young children or they're older, they're, people of a certain age. Real estate does not discriminate.
No.
Real estate doesn't care if, you're an 86-year-old man or if you're an 18-year-old African-American girl. It doesn't matter. If you become an agent, if you have a language, if you're from a different country and you want to specialize in working with people who speak that language, awesome. They need that.
Yeah.
If you are a, person who's on their third act, their third career, and you want to get into that, it's fine. You can work with other people in your same age group. There's always a way to be in real estate, and it doesn't matter who you are, what color you are, what age you are, what gender you are. It just doesn't matter. And that's really what I love about real estate.
Yeah. It's as free as the market really can be in a lot of ways, without crony capitalism or, there are rules and regulations, but it still allows anyone to be successful. I know a woman who moved from India, struggling, well educated, but not, working very well, got into real estate. Her English is not that great, but she sells a ton of real estate to
People who speak her language, right?
people who speak her language, other people coming from India or, so forth. So it's been fantastic for her. It's just, it's awesome. This is how life should be. We should be able to create our own future. We should be able to get to the point of choice. And what I also love about real estate, so many people are willing to help, partner and do other things because you can make enough money that everyone gets taken care of.
I think one of the great things about real estate too, and Eric really taught me this, and I wish Eric could have been here today because he would have loved this conversation, but is that real estate allows you to be a problem solver and to use your creativity. He talks a lot about, and he's taught me a lot about creative financing and, trying to find ways to make a deal happen. And you know this, there are no rules in commercial, right? There are no rules in commercial real estate. So you can be as creative as you want to. And I think that's something that appeals to a lot of people as well, that it's not like your mind goes to atrophy. You're still using all of your skills and all of your sharp wit, and you can make money, make life changes, and change other people's lives all in the same process.
That is one of the primary reasons I came into commercial real estate, was because I'm a creative person. I like to think, like, how do we just get this done? The military has all these rules and regulations. You're like, okay, I understand why this works in most situations, but in this situation, if we do this thing, we double our output and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, you can't do that. I'm like, okay. But here in real estate, there are no rules. You say, look, is it ethical? Is my integrity still intact? Am I acting with honor? Am I taking care of the person across the table from me, and getting them what they need, to be happy? And, am I not going to get sued later? So it's like, and there, sometimes things are ethical, but it's not necessarily legal, or it's not necessarily, it doesn't absolve any, liability. And so we've done some really creative opportunities. I helped one of my first students. 2 days ago, he told me, like, hey, Sam, like, we talk every month, but I said, hey, I want to see the numbers on this deal. Like, I did a triple net lease to him. I taught him how to do it, how to operate the property. I worked through all of his problems over the past year. And he came to me with all the numbers on Monday, and we went through the deal together. And I said, to him and his wife, I said, you guys just made $700,000 this year. And they're like, yeah, we did. I'm like, you made 700 grand. This is fantastic. Your first year in commercial real estate, they were residential real estate. He's a broker. They've been doing residential real estate. They wanted to get into commercial. I said, well, I happen to have a deal not too far from where you guys live. Like 20 minutes from their house. It was fantastic. I said, this is what I'll do for you guys. I'll do a triple net lease. You pay me a monthly payment. I don't have time to worry about this property. I've got lots of other properties. And so let's make a good deal. And then I'll teach you how to do the stuff. They worked hard. They improved the property. They made it whatever, but you can be honest and fair and good. And look, I'm still making $600,000 too, but they just made 700 grand their first year doing commercial real estate on one deal.
May I turn the tables on you for a quick second?
Yes, please.
So we're definitely going to send this out to all of our students. I want you to tell me about your class so everyone in the world, all of the Sam Sells followers, all of the Center for Real Estate Education followers know about your class that you're doing for us, because I think it's going to be a winner.
All right. So when I got started in real estate, so I already told my little story a little bit about how the military's like, you're going to get out. And I didn't want to. And then they finally convinced them to keep me in. They moved me to Alaska on my 2 weeks later. And I was like, I wanted to stay in, but I also wanted to stay in Florida because Florida's amazing. Alaska's also amazing, different reasons. 13-day journey with a 1-year-old screaming his head off in the back. My wife ready to strangle me because now we're moving from Florida and the job is now shaky, or my career is shaky. And I decided I got to do something. I got to change my life. I got to get in real estate. So I started, made a decision to start looking at commercial real estate. I needed to expand quickly. I needed to grow income quickly. I only had $30,000 in my 401k, the military's version of the 401k.
Right.
So like nothing. 15 years of being in the military, and I had $30,000 saved up. I'd flipped like 15 homes, still only had 30 grand saved up because, you spend that money as soon as you make it. Oh, we should go buy something.
Even before you make it, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're just paying off the debt from what you spent. Yeah. So anyhow, like going through and trying to learn every single thing I could from videos and books, I learned that really there's this 5-step framework that I've put together that if I would have known that, I would have changed. I would not have spent years going down different paths. Look, my 30 grand, my dad's 80 grand. He was 65, just laid off. We put that together, mortgaged our future, bought 2 deals, and within 6 months, we were making a little over 6 grand a piece in passive income. So we both could have retired at that moment and lived.
Right.
And I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. Didn't know anything about syndication, started going down that route. So what I put together is, I've been doing this now for 5 years or so, and I've made a ton of dumb mistakes because I didn't have anyone telling me or teaching me or helping me. So we put together 6 courses and then a precursor to the course where we go through, which I haven't sent to you yet, but we go through the 5-step framework to help you get in the mindset of where do I go? How do I get there? And then syndication following, syndication 101 course, walking through commercial real estate, the different types, and then how you can buy any one of those types of real estate with other people's money. And so that's what I learned how to do. Like I just spent all my money. We bought these 2 properties. We were making a lot of money back, like 110% return or something like that. And we should help other people do this. Plus, selfishly, I'm out of cash and I really want to buy some stuff. Right. So
that's amazing.
The six courses are just like the basics of walking people through how to syndicate, the big things you need to look out for, what you can and can't do in basics within the Security and Exchange Commission, because the Security and Exchange Commission for the United States governs how you can raise money from retail private individuals. It governs that. And so this is how you can and can't do some of those things. This is all basics. And then, of course, I have another next level course, 12 courses where we go through and we get into some nitty gritty like loan to own, why certain lenders want to take your property from you and they hope you fail.
Yes.
Which is a true statement. Absolutely. I didn't believe that before, but I believe that 100% now. I've had the unfortunate experience of having to fight those guys, but I won in their face. Today, I want to help other people not go through the pain that I went through.
Well, I think this is going to be amazing. I am so happy that you and I were able to talk. I can't wait for my students to see this podcast and to start following it and subscribe, guys. I'm doing Steven's job. I'm like, subscribe to Clean Money.
That's right.
But that's exactly why we wanted you to do a course with us. We believe that having a variety of experts who we have vetted and we know that they are doing what they say they're doing, as well as they have the knowledge and the expertise and the, again, actionable steps to help everyone get to where they need to go. That's why you're the man, Sam. That's why you're part of the C Free Network.
Thank you. It's been an honor. And, ever since our first conversation, I knew it's like, okay, these are people that share my values, that are really doing things. And, if somebody won't tell you the screw ups they made, they're not real.
Right. It's not all like, private jets and fancy cars. It's really not.
It's really
a lot of
not
hard work.
And if they say they haven't lost money in real estate, then they probably just haven't been doing it very long.
I agree. That's a podcast for a whole nother time.
Yeah, absolutely. But you listen to experts, they can help you avoid the worst mistakes and, rapidly scale, rapidly get to wherever you're trying to get to in life. Noelle, this has been fantastic. How can my viewers who don't already know you, how can they reach out and find you?
They can go to recareercenter.com or they can email info@recareercenter.com and they can just put in the subject, "This is for Noelle," and it will get to me. It will get to me and I will answer you back and personally. And I enjoy every interaction that I have with someone who's new because I look at it as a new opportunity to change that one person's life, their family's life, their neighborhood's life. It's all about the giving back. And that's why I feel that the karma has come back to me and made us successful.
Yeah, it's been phenomenal to see, just the amount of success that you all have had. And I hope, I hope the next time we talk on a podcast here in a month that you've already added another 1 million subscribers. And,
Thank you. Well, this was a pleasure and I can't wait to be on. And everyone needs to go to our podcast, The Remix, The Real Estate Mix, and watch the Sam Sells podcast that he did with us, because that was amazing because he talks a lot about syndication. He goes into the nitty-gritty. And if you want to really understand, watch that podcast. Excellent.
Thank you, Noelle. Absolute pleasure as always. Thank you again for joining the pod.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in to Clean Money, where we talk about sustainable investing that improves society. We are passionate about creating great investment returns to investors who want to use their money to make a positive social impact in the world. If you enjoyed the episode, we'd appreciate a 5-star review. And if you are interested in making your investing matter, please connect with us at wildmountaincapital.com. Or you can find me, Samuel Sells, on LinkedIn, on Twitter at Sells_Samuel, on Instagram at CleanMoneySam, or on Facebook. And finally, make your investing matter.